You are now listening to the best show in the universe, The Anthony Rogers Show. You probably wish that this was your show, but it's not. It's The Anthony Rogers Show. Tell all of your friends to listen to this show.
Hello, and welcome back to the greatest show in the entire universe. Clearly. So we're going to cover Missouri State Rep Justin Hill. He's from my home-ish area. I mean, I'm from O'Fallon, but he covers like Darden Prairie, Lake St. Louis, which is right there. He was in a debate with this guy. I have no idea what the other guy is, but he was wearing two masks, and we'll get to that. I was watching this debate. He was Missouri State Rep Justin Hill posted on his on his page, and this is great. I'm gonna watch this. I watched a little bit of it before, and I'm like, I need to do a reaction to this. So this is that why I stopped. So
Gentlemen from St. Charles County, do you yield and do you have a clear path?
I wouldn't miss this for the world.
Proceed. Proceed.
How's it going, man? You know, I didn't prepare any speech today either.
But apparently you have prepared questions.
I mean, in the past few minutes, yeah, I did after you were speaking. So if the ADA is so bad,
ACA.
excuse me, the ACA is so bad, what's your solution?
My solution is to get government out of healthcare because we are not a healthcare company.
And if people get sick, and they already have health insurance and they can go bankrupt or lose their house and die, even though they're paying all the premiums, all the deductibles, the whole shebang, they're paying it. What do you think we should do for those people?
How do you think they go bankrupt if they pay all their premiums and deductibles?
So you don't think that happens?
If you pay your premium and your deductible, you are covered.
Let me ask you a question. If you have health insurance and you're struck with a devastating illness like stage 4 cancer, has it ever happened where you have health insurance, but you still go bankrupt?
What kind of health insurance?
I'm just saying health insurance that you're paying for.
the Democrats are always just like, well, the new Democrats, the old Democrats are like, the new Democrats are all just like, they'll argue on emotion and make no sense. Like he just goes, he was just asking him a question, didn't even know what kind of healthcare plan. They all just sound like they just sound like that, and then they just work off emotion and don't really have anything to say ever. They fucking are retarded at policy. They don't know, and they literally just like name like worst case scenario. Like, well, if you have cancer, that you could then am I right? Like it's just like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? And like I agree with Hill here saying that basically government shouldn't be in healthcare. It's a legal Ponzi scheme basically, from my perspective.
Or through your employer.
The ACA plans?
ACA plans or other healthcare plans.
There are no lifetime limits on an ACA plan. So no, you will not go bankrupt.
Before the ACA, could you go bankrupt?
Well, I guess if your cost was over $2 million, yeah, you are afforded bankruptcy protection.
And are people still going bankrupt today because they're struck with a devastating illness?
I think people are going bankrupt today because this Biden administration keeps freaking ruining our economy.
Gentlemen, please refrain from using that language on the floor. Proceed.
It is a bad word, Mr. Speaker.
Gentlemen, please, my goodness. Would you be willing to accept funds that you're already paying for to come back in to this state to help your neighbor or somebody else that's struck with a devastating illness? Excuse me, sir.
Are you referring to the funds that we have not paid back yet?
Gentleman from St. Charles, I'm asking you a question.
I'm asking for clarification.
From what I understand, this state would just have to put in 10% of all of the money, and then the federal government would pay the other 90%. Do I have that wrong?
Why wasn't that on the ballot language for expansion then?
I'm just asking you, if we put in 10% to fund Medicaid expansion, would the federal government put in 90%?
That is wrong.
That's
That is
wrong for
wrong.
it to happen, or that's not what.
Wrong for it to happen, and I would rather not pay 10%.
Okay,
and
then you're
them
misunderstanding
bail.
my question. My question is, if this state put in 10% to expand Medicaid, would the federal government fund the other 90%?
They don't have to.
You're a tough one, man. You're good. You're good. But you kind of look silly. I got to be honest with you.
I'm not wearing 2 masks.
All right, my friend. We'll leave it right there. But you know, there were some Republicans here a couple days ago that actually broke party lines and voted for Medicaid expansion because not only is it the right thing to do, it's what the will of the people wanted, and it's also in the Constitution here in the state of Missouri. And so if you're somebody on the other side of the aisle that might be a little bit on the fence about this, just know you had colleagues that came on to our side about this, and I encourage you to consider it this time. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Democrats last rebuttal was people vote nonpartisan on issues they care about. Like that, of course, Republicans do. They care about policy. They don't give a fuck if you're a Democrat or Republican. Ultimately, it's just the Democratic Party was swooped by the radical left, and it's just a bunch of people that race bait and talk out of emotion don't make any sense. Like when we're like Democrats are fucking idiots, we're not talking about like JFK or FDR. We're talking about the modern radical left that basically swooped the party and just is embarrassing the country and the world, from my perspective. And Justin O killed it there. Congrats. Follow him on Facebook, follow him whatever. He's also been on the show. Link in the description for his interview on this show. I just thought that was good and I wanted to share that. Thanks for watching.